Hi everyone, it's Bren here and welcome to this week's garden update where I'm going to show you how my seedlings are coming along. Plus we'll harvest 3 unusual varieties of beetroot and I'm going to share my plans with you for repurposing the broken old greenhouse. So let's get into it now. I'm starting off over at the entryway to the raised garden bed area. So a week or so ago I said I was going to pull out all of these and replace them with these plants, the hollyhocks, African daisies and the love and the mist, but as you can see I still haven't done it yet. I decided to leave them in here a little bit longer because I noticed that there was lots of flower buds on them. And I'm pretty happy I made that decision because they've actually put on a second flush of flowers, which I actually wasn't expecting. I thought that these plants had finished their main lot of blooms, but in fact what you're seeing here is much better than the first lot. And as well as putting some in the ground, I popped a few into this pot. They seem really happy in there. I just love how it's covered the top of this container, and the plant is also drooping over the edge. These are also a fun plant to grow for kids. Their flowers are very similar to snapdragons. You can have lots of fun with these if you put your fingers on either side of the petals and give it a bit of a squeeze. It opens and closes like this. It's a little bit tricky for me to do while holding the camera, but I hope you get the idea. I'll just grab this snapdragon flower because it's much easier for me to demonstrate. It's a bit larger for my fingers, so you just go like this. See how it looks like a bit of a mouth on the inside. I'm down at the fan garden and I'm really excited because I'm going to harvest some of these heirloom varieties of beetroot. The first one here is called a golden beet. Let me pull this out. Look at that gorgeous orange skin. These ones are called white beets. And finally, this really cool looking Italian heirloom called Quioa, which has a really unusual pattern on the inside. And what I'm holding here is why I love growing my own food. There's so many more varieties out there that you just don't see being sold in the shops. Taking a look inside these 3 varieties of beetroot, this one here is the white beetroot, and not much of a surprise there. You can see it's completely white on the inside, and this is great for cooking with because it won't stain your hands. Here's the golden beet with a gorgeous yellow colour on the inside, and the great thing about beetroot is that you can also eat the foliage as well, and they're so versatile. You can pickle them, roast them, boil them. You can even cut them up really thinly when they're young and eat them raw in salads. And last but certainly not least, this is the Quioa beetroot. It has this incredible pattern on the inside where there are rings of white and pink. A great variety to grow, especially if you have kids who are fussy eating fruit and vegetables. This variety of beetroot may entice them to give it a try. Around the corner, past this beautiful garden bed, which is in full bloom now, absolutely packed with flowers, but quite a lot of these will be removed fairly soon as they are just annuals and they will not be able to deal with the heat of our summer. Over here I've got the old greenhouse that's kind of falling apart, and I have big plans for that this summertime. I'm going to fix it up, make it a lot more sturdy, and it's going to be transformed into an edible fort for my kids. So I'm planning on putting beans here at the base, maybe some cucumbers, a few flowers outside, maybe some zinnias just to make it a bit more pretty. And the hope is that these edible crops will grow over the frame and my kids will hopefully enjoy it. They'll be able to come in here, hang out, and then just pick some food while they're playing. Here's an update on the seedlings, which are hanging out here up beside our brick house, so they're staying nice and warm in this little microclimate. In the back row there's lots of sunflowers and zinnias. I did have to sow quite a few of these again because I'm having awful trouble with slugs and snails this year. I actually one night this week went out and collected some of them. Let me show you a short video of that now. So last night I went out on a bit of a snail hunt, and I found a lot more than I was expecting to. No wonder all my seedlings are getting chewed up. It's pretty shocking, isn't it, how many I found? Anyway, I think since I've done that, and every night now I've been coming out here and I've been finding less and less munching away, and it's really helped out with these little seedlings because now they're growing much better and there's less foliage being eaten. In this tray I have Giant Russian and Sun King sunflowers, which can get huge. One year I grew them and they must have been about 7 or 8 foot tall. Got some climbing beans in here, Belotti and Kentucky Wonder Wax. There's one there, you can see the other one's popping through now. In this tray are the Globe Amaranth Tall Mix, and they unfortunately quite a few of them got eaten up. So I think I've refilled these with seedlings a couple of times, and you know, these are the ones that have made it through so far, but I have actually sown more of these seeds because I really want loads of these in the garden this year. Here I've got some salvia, tricolour, and this one that I can't pronounce. There you go. And a couple of tomato plants that I've been potting on. These ones are the honeybee. Actually, when it comes to the tomatoes, they're all different sizes at the moment because I didn't sow them all at the exact same time. Let me show you what's been going on with them. I have these, which are the Tiny Tom tomatoes. These ones can grow in containers, so I'm doing a little bit of a experiment growing these. I haven't tried them ever before. I want to see how they go in pots. And then these ones, which are called Sun Gold. I only got about 5 seeds in this seed pack. There's the Sun Gold. Oh look, there's a root coming out of the bottom there. I might have to pot them on now, or it's too early. They're still too little to go straight out in the garden. I'll pot them on. So yeah, I got 5 seeds and I ended up getting 3. Well, there was 4, but that one's gone. You can just see the little stem there. But 3's not bad. I'm kind of even tempted to plant all of these because they have great reviews. They're meant to be a delicious little tomato. So I have this tray as well. I transferred these from a different tray. Some of them are doing quite well. This one's looking nice and strong. It's called a ram's horn. There's a mixture in here: tigerella, green zebra, yellow pear, black Roma, and brandywine red. I'm over at the greenhouse now, where there's Crimson Crush and Tommy Toe, one of my favourites. So these are still quite small, and they're just starting to put out their true leaves now, so I'll probably pot them on this week. And on the shelf above them I have some more little seedlings. I haven't done anything to them yet. Remember I showed you these a few weeks ago. Now there are a few in here that didn't even germinate, like the blueberries, black and green. What's that? Juan Flamme. So I gave into temptation and I ended up buying a few tomato plants. This one here is Black Russian. I didn't have any of those seeds, or at least they didn't germinate. And then these are the blueberry tomatoes, one of my favorites. I showed you just a minute ago that those seeds didn't germinate, so I just bought this one. The thing is, like, I mean, it's good value for money. You pay about $5 for it, but the amount of tomatoes you get off it over the season, it's well worth it. The red noodle snake beans are pretty much ready to go out now in the garden. I'm gonna make a start on it probably from next week, because next week it's school holidays here in New South Wales. I'll have a lot more time, and all the after school activities are usually not on during those 2 weeks. So I'm planning on putting out a lot of plants, a lot more plants, and getting the garden beds ready. I've seen, like, here's a squash. They're all germinating. Oh, and I've got the Thai pink egg down there at the back. I managed to get myself some of those seeds. They are a determinate variety. I love them. There's those snapdragons I showed you a few weeks ago, the seed packet, the bright rock mix. They've all germinated. And I think it was this seed pack I showed you as well, which is the Cosmos carpet formula. Plenty there. I got an absolute bargain on liliums this week. So it was from Garden Express. They were having a sale. I noticed an email they had sent because I'm a member, or at least they have my email address. They send me, like, you know, when specials are on. So these here, there was 10 bulbs in it and they only cost $5. I think they were reduced from $20. So I ended up buying, how many packs? 4 packs. So I now have 40 lilium bulbs, and these make great cut flowers. Here are only some of them, and I'm thinking what I'll do with a lot of these is I'll put them in that area beside, you know, in where the raised garden bed area is, where the compost bin is. Remember I had mentioned that I was going to create like a huge like flower garden there, so I'm going to put a lot of these into that space. I'm back over at the greenhouse. So when it comes to sowing seeds, I tend to do a few every day so I don't overwhelm myself. That's kind of why all my tomato plants are at such different stages of growth. But in here, I can't even remember how long ago I did these, but it wasn't more than a week, I would say. And things are germinating quickly now as the weather warms up and the soil temperatures increase. So in here I have a few different varieties of sunflowers, Double Delight, Lemon Bling, oh, and there's also at the back there's some more zinnias, some giant dahlia flower zinnias. You can see the labels there. Oh, it's a little bit out of focus. And then over here I have a lot of Lebanese cucumbers. I have some green okra, crimson spineless, and then there's a melon over here in this one, which is called Cicata Sweet. And then in here I have some chilies, I think, yep, the Bulgarian carrot chili, and I've got 2 there. These cherry red capsicums are ready to be potted on now. They're quite large and a lot of them have put on their first set of true leaves. I have a lot of plants that could go out into the ground, but I'm still a little bit nervous. I mean, these 2 here on this side are zinnias, the Scabiosa mix, and I've taken them out of the pots. They've got really nice root systems. They are ready to go, but I'm just going to wait another week before I put them out. And then on the other side, it's the old reliable, one of my favorites, Bright Lights Cosmos, which flowers much earlier than the other ones, the other varieties seem to do. Well, it's come to that time again where I'm gonna have to say goodbye for another week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again next Friday.